What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Jules. Thanks for coming back for another weekly update. It is first part of November, and it's going great. It's raining outside. It's going to turn to snow. We're going to get about an inch, I think, tonight here in Colorado. So should be a lot of fun. We're going to start things off a little bit differently than in the past. A lot of times I ramble a lot, which I'm going to stop doing right now. I'm going to focus on Old World Map 2, which is my gigantic cross stitch. Which is still a work in progress. So let me kind of show you guys a little bit kind of what's been going on here. So here's the beginning. I think this was 2020. I don't know. I don't know what year it was. 2018 or whatever that I started this. And this is 18 count fabric, by the way. And so it goes along through here, goes along through here. And then I kind of reached really bad stopping points a couple, many times along the way. This is the very end. Right off the bat, if you're wondering where you get a piece of fabric that's like this big, I got this from my stitching shop called Stitching Shop, which is here in Denver. And they were able to special order it for me and get everything ready. So that's how you do it. And that's actually how I sort of discovered a stitching shop locally here. But I'm still only on the first row, and I've been on the first row for like 7 years. It's a little ridiculous, and it's not like I don't have like an insane amount of stitching still to do. But the great news is this week I got roughly 800 stitches done. So I'm super happy about that. Let me show you. There's a little bit of confetti, meaning I still got to fill in a few stitches here and there, but all the way to the end here is sort of where I was. And I really focused this week on this whole, like just this area right here, just getting a lot of stitches done, and a lot of this very top border, which is sort of like this off-white, white off-white. I was able to extend a lot of that. My goal is like this next week is to just extend this all the way over. And then technically I would have like, I've really truly reached the end, so to speak, as far as the first row, just all the way across. That would be huge. So this is the easier part of these pages. It's filling in all of this stuff because there's so much more, there's so many more colors that I have to fill in there. And I wrote down a couple of quick, just, on my tablet, on this big tablet here. So Old World Map, technically it comes from my boombox. Okay, now I can't even remember. My goldenkite.com is where I got this from. And when I originally bought this, the full name of this is Old World Map 2 because I have many Old World maps on there. And I forgot the dimensions. It's like 900 by 500 or something crazy. But it's 696,960 stitches. That's a lot of stitches. I'm just shy of 60,000, so 59,698 stitches, which is officially the biggest or the most stitches I've ever put into any cross stitch project that I can think of. And it's 8.5%, 8.57%. That is insane. I have so much more to do. And I think for like the last 4 years, I've been like, this is the year I finished the top row. This is the year. Thought it would be the year. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Finally, I'm getting there. But that's that. What that looks like. Now, the funny thing is that if you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that when I stitch on it, I stitch with this tiny little hoop, which I know doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's all about control. It's all about the fact that this is a heavy piece of fabric, and if I only need to hold on to a small piece of it at a time, it just makes it easier. And to be perfectly honest, I've actually migrated to I'm using my lap stand, I call it the Nurge. I'm using that right now to hold my camera, but I use that to hold my hoop, and then I'm able to stitch two-handed that way, which works fantastic, and it actually has sped me up quite a bit working on it. So I'm super happy. The other thing that sped me up a tremendous amount when it comes to Old World Map 2 is using my actual tablet for Pattern Keeper. And Pattern Keeper app is just where all my cross stitch patterns that I'm using that I want to stitch on, that's where everything goes, including all of my designs go in there. But when I pull up, can I actually pull up a picture? Okay, hold on. I've got it pulled up here, but I wanted to, let me see if I can do it this way so you guys can see it better. I want you to sort of see like what we're talking about in terms of what I've done and what I have left to do. It's absolutely crazy, but I mean, look at how much I have left to do. And we keep calling it my lifetime project, and it's gonna be fine because I'm living at 200. But I mean, that's still a lot of stitching to do. But Pattern Keeper has also made this thing like fly by. Let me zoom in here a little bit for you. You can see sort of what I've been working on. Over 200 colors as well. So there's a lot of colors. I kind of wish I had the option to do like maybe like 150 colors, because I think that would have helped with some of the confetti situation that I'm dealing with. But there's just there's some here that are like, there's so many stitches, like 647. Like look at 647. Okay, so stitch 647 and stitch or floss 648. Can you guys see like how many tens of thousands of stitches? I still have like 20,875 of 647. That's just crazy. So anyway, that is really the only stitching that I have been working on this week, which I'm happy to say that. I tried working on some other things. I actually did work a little bit on one of mine, but I'm holding off on showing and telling you about that because I changed some things up. I want to make sure that I know exactly what I want to show you guys before I show you. Otherwise, I'll change my mind again, and then you guys will get even more confused than you normally do. It's not good. Oh, so I was going to pull up my Etsy store page real quick so you guys can see the new additions to the store. Now, when you go to Etsy, which is down below, there's a section that's new for November. So all the patterns that I've uploaded in the last like week and a half, 2 weeks are going to be on there. So there's a total of 4, 8, 10 there right now. And there's a few more that are really close to being published. I just haven't gotten there. We've talked about the giant tortoise head. We've talked about the kneading hands. Is it the Gothic house? Yeah, the Gothic house redo. The Tree of Life. The other thing I did with Tree of Life this week, whoa, hello. The other thing I did with Tree of Life this week is I actually came out with a medium monochrome pattern for that. And so the original was like really big. Really big. Let me pull up the medium-sized one. Let's pull up the info page. So the medium-sized info page one is it's 220 by 220. So if you don't want to stitch like gigantic, huge Tree of Life, there's this option. Now, I'm going to lay this out to you guys because I came up with this after somebody specifically asked me via an Etsy message. I'd love to stitch it, just a lot of stitches. Is there a smaller version of it? So I went ahead and I actually was able to make a smaller version. It's not as detailed as the original, but I still think it came out pretty good. So that's what that looks like. The original, it's maybe half of the original size, but it's like 25% of the stitches. Let me just double check here. So it's just under 18,000 stitches. So that's actually quite doable. That's a pretty, like this one was, I want to say 13,000, and then Cowboy was probably closer to 15,000 or so. So, so if you saw my channel and you're like, oh my gosh, I love Tree of Life, I gotta go get it, and you went out and bought that big one, and you actually want the medium-sized one because you're like, that's a lot of stitching, maybe I'd like to do something smaller, reach out to me, show me where you bought it, and I'll go ahead and send you the medium-sized one as well, because I wasn't planning on putting out a medium-sized one. I would have probably done that first, but anyway, I went ahead and did it. So let me pull up the so this is the True Mega, and I think this one's just unbelievably gorgeous. I love it. So there's that. Now, I also showed you guys or I'm not sure if I had this one ready, but I have this color version, and the colors don't show up. So I think I did show this to you guys last week. It's like a purple and it's like a purple and gray kind of look to it. So my colors with the light, the way that it is. Okay, I just blended myself. It makes it a little hard to see, but let me show you guys what else did I get done. Did I show you the spooky monochrome house? 198 by 285. Show you guys this one. So it's another kind of, I want to say Gothic style house. Kind of looks like an old abandoned, like the haunted house that I have is kind of a sketch, kind of a cartoony sketch. And then the Gothic house is actually definitely a sketch. This one is actually an actual real house. And I just thought it looked like an abandoned old haunted house kind of thing. But there was that one. But the other thing that I put out is I have another military pattern. Now, the funny thing is, oh, wait, hold on, time out. Mini Tree of Life. I got the Mini Tree of Life. So if you again, don't want to stitch big stuff, there's Mini Tree of Life. Now, I believe, I'm going to try to remember if the white, I can't remember if, right off the top of my head, if, I think you're stitching like the white inside of it. I think you are. But you're not stitching everything on the outside of the Celtic, all the lace, the filigree or whatever you want to call that on the outside. And it's 80 by 80. 80 by 80 with 12 colors. So that's definitely a very doable non-full coverage cross stitch if you just want to throw it up in there. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a grayscale kind of thing. But for a military pattern, I've got one more pattern I want to show y'all. And it's funny that I don't normally put out the mini version of something before the mega version, but the mini ones kind of came out so well that I wanted to show you guys. It was easier to put up first too. So this is already in the stores, but this is the mini, which I know it doesn't seem like it's the mini because it looks gigantic right now, but that's only because I zoomed in. Well, yeah, I zoomed in. I'm gonna also have like a full version of this, closer to like about 200 by 200 or so. This one is 100 by 90 with 19 colors. I did not want to try to cut down more on these colors. I really wanted to make sure that there was a bit of detail in this, but I think this looks really cool. And it's my first, I want to say it's my first, is it my first military ship? I think it is. So if you like, U.S. Navy or anything like that, that would be sweet. That would be very cool. What else do I have? I feel like I have, oh yeah, one more thing. So my husband and I were out and about this weekend, and we kind of made a run over to Goodwill / Salvation Army. One of the coolest things is with these little mini patterns, these teeny patterns and the mini patterns, is trying to find some kind of frames that are cool but aren't necessarily, like, I want to look at stuff that looks a little bit like older, like it's been lived in a little bit or lived with. So one of the best places to find things like that is like your local Goodwill or Salvation Army store. And this one probably needs to be tested a little bit, but like this is someone in Minnesota loves you, so very sweet. But I liked the the old frame. I even like the vertical kind of running matting here. So there's that. But it's if I want to mat something, a lot of stores won't necessarily allow you to purchase like really tiny mat stuff. It's just much harder to cut. So, and then there's this one. It's really small. And I don't know for sure which one I'm going to put in this one, but that's like driver's license, slightly bigger than, maybe make it like a passport or something. Card. It's my cross stitch card. And then I got this one. And these are all like $1, $2, kind of thing. Like this one's $1.90 something. But I like this one too. I actually like that picture. It says Toronto, Ontario, the Windsor Arms Hotel. Look, it's cross stitch. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. But this has a little bit, just a little bit of matting. Um, but yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I highly recommend if you guys, if you're up for framing things yourself, um, I think that those are great places to go and get frames because they're just a tiny fraction of what it costs. So, um, I also actually got, and I'm trying to remember why, but I actually grabbed the World of Cross Stitching, and I never have done one of those like walkthroughs, and honestly, I don't think I would do that with this. I wanted to see what was in these magazines. I wanted to see like what people are putting in here, like just I don't know. I'm just trying to gather information as much as I can. There's a lot of things to stitch. There's a lot of things to stitch in here. I mean, it's just nuts how many things there are to stitch. Um, so anyway, I think, I think, I think that's it. So yeah, I think that's it. I yeah, I kind of want to stitch on. The reason why I have Anno, this is my game my favorite computer game, maybe of all time. It's pretty close. No, Bloodborne's my favorite game of all time, but Anno is a close second. But I haven't played it in a while, and so I just pulled it up because I'm gonna try and force myself to kind of relax and play some video games a little bit here. Because otherwise, who knows? I'd be working on patterns or doing 5,000 other things. So, but I am working on more designs right now. I do have 4 or 5 that are getting ready to get published in various stages. I was actually working on mini gnome, the mini gnome with a flower. I think that's what it's called. I've got that one's getting ready to come out soon because I'm about 3/4 of the way through publishing that one. I was working on a TikTok page, all the TikTok stuff, trying to record some video for that. I want to record just some little bits here and there. You guys really liked the old world map stitch with me, so we're probably gonna stick with that for a bit. It would help me to actually get stitching done on it because once I kind of start at it, I just kind of keep going. So, but I think it's it for now. We're just kind of battening down the hatches because it's be nice and cold tonight, tomorrow, the next couple of days. But hey, it's November. It's time for that, right? So, all right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm sorry if I forgot anything, but I just got home from work and I'm just gotta get the video out. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Shoot me some questions if you got them. And yeah, we'll have a nice little Stitch With Me old world map again this coming weekend. So I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.